I'm James Demer, the audio nomad, and I'm here today in Portland, Maine with Joyce's Review, who is in Chengdu, China. And we're going to talk about the Kiwi Ears Atheia. So I have the box here. Joyce, I know you said you didn't have the box.
Yeah, I just brought the carrying case.
Yeah. Do you remember what this costs?
I remember it's kind of like 349 USD.
Okay, $349. And it looks like it's got the 50 millimeter dynamic driver and a 14.5 planar. So it's pretty unusual, right? I mean, how many other headphones do you know of that have sort of dual drivers?
Yeah, actually, based on what I know, dual dynamic driver, it's kind of rare in headphones, isn't it?
I think it is. And this is even more rare because it's a dynamic driver is the 50 millimeter, the big one. And then it's a planar for the high frequency.
Planar. That's pretty rare when you see that in a headphone.
Yeah, totally. I was thinking that maybe before we get into talking about how they sound, we could talk about sort of packaging and accessories, and then look and feel the headphone itself. What do you think?
Sound good.
So since I have the box, maybe I'll start with the actual box. We have this nice cardboard box that sort of slides in and out like like a drawer.
Yeah, like a drawer.
Yeah. And then inside the inner box is this pretty nice case. And you have one of these, so you want to talk about how you feel about this case?
Yes, what about the case? Let me just put the headphone inside so we can see the whole view of it. So here is the box, and the zipper, it's kind of smooth. And then open it up, we can see our Kiwi Ears logo on the face. And then open it up, we can see the one pair of cable and the headphone itself and user's manual. Now, maybe it's your turn to describe the outlook of this headphone.
Sure. Yeah. I guess I would just say, to get back to the case just for a second, I actually really like this. I think the travel case is really nice. It's something that I would use for packing the headphones up and throwing them in my bag in an airplane or something like that. You know, it's kind of a nice sort of soft, hard case or semi-hard case.
Yeah, inside of it, it's like a suede fabric. Yeah, it feels really comfortable.
It does. Yeah, I would call it a fairly premium case, considering these headphones cost $349. And
yes,
maybe a lot of headphones in that price range don't come with such a nice travel case. I think it's pretty good. Yeah. Joyce, I'll share my thoughts on the build quality of this headphone, and then you can tell me what you think.
Yep.
I actually really, I guess maybe to just sort of give you the nuts and bolts of it, I believe these are walnut. It's what in the US we'd call walnut. I'm not sure what you'd call it in China, but it's like a dark, rich, chocolatey, real wood. It's not a veneer or anything. It's actually real wood cups with I guess you'd call this maybe a powder coated or painted matte finish, the cup holder with a decent adjustable pin that goes to quite a comfortable headband. You know, the headphones have good sort of swivel and positioning this way, and then they also swivel pretty well this way. So I do feel like when they're on my head, they're fairly comfortable. You know, there's also like kind of a little vent up here, so maybe it's a closed back with a vent. I like the ear cups. You know, I think it's like a vegan leather, but they're soft and they're supple, and I think generally I like the build quality. Maybe the only thing that I'm not super crazy about is this chrome ring. I don't know if you can see it, this chrome ring that goes in between the ear pad and the ear cup. It's like, it's like we've got too much going on. So we have this sort of matte metal, then we have this sort of like smoky metal on this adjuster pin here, wood, and then there's just this bright chrome ring. I'm not sure why they chose that.
Yeah.
And then maybe last thing I'd say is, I think for such a sophisticated headphone, the Kiwi Ears logo is, well, it is, fairly unobtrusive because it's just laser or I'm not sure, laser etched into the wood. I'm not sure how they etched it into this wood. It it just doesn't feel like a very mature logo to me. I might have chosen a different font or something that's just a little more mature. But tell me, what do you think?
Yeah, for me, I kind of like the logo.
Okay.
I think it's like creative or something, and like you, I like the walnuts wood ear cup very much. Gives you like, especially the texture when you feel it, and gives you a very warm and refined feeling. And then the ear cups, like you said, can twist it like this, and it's very comfortable and very convenient for you, like when you are doing some like editing job or something, and you can just put it like this. It will not be annoying, like put it like this. So this is like a very very great decorating of your, at least like your style or something. And then the headphone, here we got the ventilation hole. Maybe it's semi-open back headphone, and when I'm looking at it, I'm guessing a pretty good soundstage. It will probably do a good job to the ventilation or something, a soundstage or something. And what's more, makes me very excited is like when I'm doing the test, I always wear it for a whole morning or afternoon, and I don't feel tired. It's light. It's pretty light, and especially the arch here, you can see it's very supple and a little bit light leather here. So actually, my hair is kind of small for Asians. Like even my ears my head, it can like wear it for a long hours, not feeling exhausted or something. So the wearing experience for me is pretty good. And then also the the leather feels really soft and little and like smooth. Yeah, gives you a really refined feeling of it. And yeah, that's pretty much I feel about it. Yeah.
I think one, you actually brought up something interesting. My head or my ears maybe are high, or my head is somewhat small, but I find that with most headphones, I have to make them almost as small as they will go, and it's no exception with the Atheia here. So one thing I have noticed is that if I put it on my head and I've got these kind of pushed, so the cups are up as high as they will go, that over time they start to slide. And so after I don't know, an hour or two of listening, I realize ooh, they've slipped down on my ears and I kind of need to, kind of push them back. So that would be one maybe nitpicky complaint that I have. But I do agree they are shockingly light they're not like ultra lightweight, but they never felt sort of fatiguing on my head, even with extended listening periods.
Yes, and also the cable is pretty light. Feels very safe when you do this, when you plug it in. And then they keep it really light. But personally, I don't like this color or silicone design here.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's better if you do it all fabric.
Oh, that's so funny because I love this silicone.
Really?
I do, yeah. I like how they sort of alternated from a sort of the fabric, like that, the cloth over cover.
Why?
At the bottom half of the cable. And I don't know, there's something about the it's like grippy and kind of bouncy. I think it's in a pleasing tactile feel. I like the way it feels, and I think it adds a bit of lightness to an otherwise dark and heavy cable. Not a physical lightness, but like a the appearance
Like
that
visual
it's just,
lightness.
yeah, visual lightness. You know what is interesting? You talked about these locking in, and thank you for that, because I actually didn't realize they locked in.
Yeah, they can lock.
And sometimes I didn't get sound because I don't think I had them locked in. One thing I did notice, did you ever try to switch the left and the right?
No, actually.
Well, something weird happens. I'm not sure how these are wired internally, but most headphones, if you put the right side on the left and the left side on the right, it just flips the audio to the drivers. So now like you're hearing the left audio in your right ear and the right audio in your left ear, but that's not what happens here. There's just no sound. The sound doesn't exist.
Oh,
so
that's good.
There's some interesting, I don't know, maybe. Yeah,
preventing you like put it wrong.
Well, you'd certainly know because you wouldn't hear anything.
And also, I like the design here. Large L and R.
Yeah, I love that too. Because how many times do you pick up your headphones and you're like, which side is what?
Say, hey, where
Yeah.
what? Like you have to looking for it.
I love that too. Like these. Yeah. You got to look. I love it too. Maybe one last little detail before we get into sound is the cable does come straight out of the bottom of the headphone. Sometimes you'll see that cables are angled. Not so in this case. This is just straight down.
Yeah, this is straight on.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, Joyce, this is the question everyone wants to know. How did they sound?
Well, firstly, actually I tried the prototype when it didn't come out, but after it, the final version come out, it doesn't change a lot. So for me, I like this kind of warmness, like immediately to your ear, gives you a very warm but still balanced kind of feeling. Like warm is the most identity characteristic of it. And should I go deeper about all of it?
Go for it.
Okay. And for bass, just for bare listening without looking at the graph or something, I think the bass response is quite interesting because it reaches relatively deep and offering a very comfortable experience. And the quantity, it's ample, feeling a little bit meaty and dense with a strong impact and great atmosphere.
This is what's interesting to me. And I looked at your graph on the Squig link and I looked at some other graphs and they all kind of match, that the graph doesn't match what you just said or my experience that, the bass kind of falls off below 60 hertz. I found that, certainly above 60 hertz, it's, ample, and that's kind of just crossing over from sub bass into bass region. But even sub bass, like listening to tracks with a lot of sub bass, they're a thick and rich textural bass presentation that certainly didn't feel anemic. Is that what you also discovered?
Yes, because I think the quantity actually is mostly based on the mid bass. So that is why we feel the bass quality and feel its warmth and something. Sometimes if it's like sub bass focused, you won't find it very bassy. Even if the sub bass sound pressure level is very high, it's all about the punchy and depths of headphone. But this one, even maybe it's my environment or my equipment is just new. I just try on. My graph is not that precise with the other one. And I find that, yes, the sub bass, it's actually bigger than I graphed it. And then the rest of the graph is what I feel.
Well, my overall impression for the Kiwi Ears Atheia is that it's a very high quality, non-offensive, easy listening headphone. It was not fatiguing. It wasn't sharp or sibilant.
Yes.
was good balance, good, relatively decent detail retrieval. But Joyce, there's something that was just a little like, and I'm talking just minor degrees here. It was a little flat and boring for me. And I think a little flat and boring. And then I did feel like some male vocals, especially baritone vocals, which normally come from like the chest or even down in your diaphragm. It's a deep sound. They presented a little more nasally to me. And I did find that slightly displeasing with this headphone. What I did do was I threw a little EQ on it, and I actually increased the sort of that kind of mid-range 1K into 3K. I just sloped it up. I just gave it a little bit more energy, and it was amazing. It opened up that nasally vocal sound, and it also opened the sound stage up for me and turned this headphone into a real wow experience.
Right. I feel the same actually. I think this one is kind of like a balance set with a warm texture, like a little bit bassy, but like the mid-range and the treble part, it's kind of flat. And especially the trebles could be a little bit dark, especially like when you're hearing the vocals. Male vocals does better, and instruments is not that bright.
I think you might be right. And it's interesting because it is that planar driver, which I'm assuming is for the high frequencies.
Yes.
I'm curious where the crossover point is between the dynamic and that planar. At what point does the planar sort of pick up those high frequencies? I'm not sure I could tell. Could you?
I don't know. Maybe the planar driver, it's not for the brightness. At this headphone, they're doing the planar just for the details, because even though it's dark, a little bit dark, but the instrumental performance is actually full of details, and you can hear all this refined texture of the like guitars and the violins at the treble part, and they were not like dynamic drivers at the ultra treble part. They could be a little bit like matte or piercing. The planar driver does a really good job on the extension and the texture of the instruments in the treble part. So that's maybe, I think, where the planar works.
Interesting. It's funny. I didn't really detect that sort of textural detail until I threw a little EQ on it, and then it just came alive for me. And it wasn't much, it was just a few dB across I don't know, a few hundred hertz, maybe 1,000 hertz, of just a little gentle bump in that 1+ K range.
I think the treble part will be like full-bodied. It's not thin. It's a little bit rounded texture.
One other thing I forgot to tell you I did with mine is I had some mineral oil, which is like what you put on like cutting boards or whatever, like to keep wood, like natural wood, from cracking.
Wow. That's interesting.
And I rubbed some mineral oil on it, and it darkened them up a little bit and gave it a little bit of a sheen. And I think it
would it do something to the sound performance?
No, not at all. No, I don't think so. But it did, for whatever reason, I think it added a nice
Yes.
Yeah, they just look a little bit more maybe shiny or like rich. It kind of brings the grain out just a little bit.
Yeah, like mine, the reflection, it's matte under the light. Yeah. But yours is like
more of a satin,
like glossy or something. It feels really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. And I would say probably to anyone that owns these, because it is a natural wood, that they're, and I'm not sure what kind of coating is on it, but it seemed to me that that mineral oil absorbed pretty well. So my guess is, if you live especially in a hot, dry environment, or you're in the winter and it's near like a heater in your house or something, you probably do want to put a treatment on it to keep that wood from cracking.
Probably.
I compared the Atheia to the HD 620S. And I know you had said you were hoping to maybe also do a little comparison, but the HD620S weren't in the office when we decided to do this video.
Yes, I loaned it to other persons
Yeah.
though.
They're both about the same price. They're both closed back. This is a Sennheiser. This is a Kiwi Ears. I'd say this is a single dynamic driver. It's not a dynamic planar. It probably weighs a little bit more. The cups don't really move this way, and they don't move this way quite enough for my ears. I found that they do just kind of splay out ever so slightly, but I like the headband adjustment.
Yeah. Did you do something to the headbands? I think it's not green.
Yeah. Well, so I use these for work, and because I use them on the show Survivor. I rest a boom pole on top of the headphone for long days because it gets really heavy. So I put a piece of foam, like closed cell foam, on top of the headband. I tape it on. So I put this is called camera tape, and it's not that sticky, so that I could take it off the headband and, it won't leave any like residue or anything.
I know.
And then I'll put like foam on top, and then I'll use like electrical tape or something way stickier to hold the foam in place. Yeah, so that's what that is. But
so did that mean that it sometimes gets a little bit uncomfortable when you wear it for a long time?
Yeah, these get hot, and I'm wearing, and heavy. But I would say, like, given the choice between the sound of these and the sound of the Atheia, I would say un-EQ'd. These win just by a hair because they're a little bit more lively and energetic.
Yes, I guess you will like this better.
With EQ, the Atheia absolutely just blows the HD620S out of the water for me. And I did spend some time EQing the HD620S, and I never got them to sound as good as the Atheia. So maybe I would say, if you're, to the audience, a user of EQ, or you want to play with some EQ, you could probably get these Atheia to really open up.
Yeah.
But if you don't use EQ, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, for me, I kind of like the brightness and the texture of the vocal and the instruments on the Sennheiser's HD 620S. But I kind of find that the most noticeable difference is that it feels more airy and brighter on the upper mid's treble. And in contrast, Atheia's treble is slightly darker, and however, the HD 620S treble sounds drier, with a more grainy and a noticeable sibilance with the vocals. And while the Atheia's treble is not as bright, but I find it more more dimensionally with a better ambience or something. Do you feel that?
Yeah, that's a really excellent description. I think dry is a good descriptor, and maybe a little more coarse on the HD 620S. It doesn't sound as refined. Yeah. And possibly that's the planar driver in the Atheia is just sort of smoothing things out a little bit and giving them a little bit less of a...
Yes.
If it's like we're talking about sandpaper, it's like the HD 620S is like a medium grit, and these are a very, very fine grit.
Polished.
Yeah, it's more polished, exactly.
Yeah. And the HD 620S, the vocal, it's closer, right?
Yeah.
Feels like closer to, unlike the Atheia's, it's like farther or something. Further.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, the vocals definitely sound a little bit less intimate on the Atheia.
All right, but I like the bass performance at the Atheia's. I think the Atheia's bass performance it's kind of my preference compared to the HD 620S. Yeah. Because when I hear the HD with the Sennheiser, I think it lacks some kind of fun. Because my library is more like R&B and rich raps. I don't know what rich rambles or something. So I think the Atheia at the bass part is more engaging to me.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. They're different, but I think given the choice, I'd probably choose the Atheia bass and sub bass, frankly, over the 620S.
Yes.
Well, it's been fun chatting with you and maybe doing a little co-review. If you're going to give like a thumbs up, thumbs down, how many thumbs up? Like if you have 2 thumbs, would you give to the Atheia? Both thumbs, 1 thumb, no thumbs?
Let me think. I like
Whoa.
the wow.
You,
Why I have the effects?
yes.
Oh my god.
I love that.
It's what the MacBook.
Okay.
It's a MacBook, so I
Is mine
didn't
doing
turn
that?
off.
Mine's not doing that.
I don't know why. You just recognize maybe this.
Thumbs up,
Can you
maybe.
recognize this? No.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
really?
Hey! You're just
Interesting.
magic. That's what it is, Joyce. You just have the magic touch.
So I'd like to give them 2 thumbs up. Yeah.
And why? Why 2 thumbs up?
Even though the treble sounds dark, but I find it really comfortable. If I'd like to rate it, actually in my draft, I rate it like 4.6 or 7 out of 5 star because it's comfortable.
Okay.
The comfortable
Yeah.
is currently it's what I'm looking for because the normally headphones I'll feel really heavy or you like to see my ear is a little bit outwards. So once I get it clicked for too long, I feel really uncomfortable. But with this,
Yeah.
I can wear it for a long day. So I can live with a little bit dark treble part and more bass. So that is my preference.
Okay. I would give it 2 thumbs up. And I would say on a scale, I like your 1 to 5 scale. I would probably give it a 4.2.
Right.
4.1 to 4.2. And I think build quality is great. It's an excellent value. I like the case it comes with. I like the cable. I like that it's wood. The slider, the sort of cup slider sliding on me is a little bit of a detractor. This chrome ring, again, I'm not super crazy about it. The logo, I like it, but I don't necessarily think it fits the aesthetics entirely. Sound-wise, they are very, very capable and very enjoyable. With a little EQ, they go from like very capable to absolutely spectacular for me. And I think if I were considering everything with EQ, I'd probably go 4.8. But as it stands, I'm going to say 4.2.
Everyone have their preference. Yeah, I think that is the most interesting part, what we take for each headphones.
If you want to buy the Kiwi Ears Atheia, where would you go to buy a set of these?
I'd like to say Linsoul Audio or kiwiears.com.
Very good. Very good. That's where I'd go to. Well, thank you so much. This was really fun. And I'd love to do it again.
Yeah, it's been fun.
And maybe, we could ask the audience if there are any headphones or IEMs or audio-based personal audio products that, you'd like to see us do co-reviews on. Put them in the comments.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think.
I like this.
Yeah, me too.
It's kind of fun and freestyling. I like this kind of
freestyle.
co-review thing. Yeah, let's style. Yeah.
Yeah, I like your fireplace too. That's my favorite part.
It's just it's a decoration.
As I'm sure all of you already know, this is Joyce of Joyce's Review. You can catch her on her own channel on YouTube, and I'm James Demer, the Audio Nomad, and you can see me on the Linsoul channel. So until next time, thanks for watching.
You can all say bye.
Oh.
Bye.
This video is brought to you by Linsoul.com. Linsoul sells IEMs, headphones, amplifiers, digital to analog converters, cables, really just about anything you could want for personal hi-fi or even home hi-fi. Their prices are great, the quality is exceptional, and their customer service is really second to none. Check them out in the link below.